Greetings, everyone. My name is Jimel Calliste, and I'm the president of the Wilkes-Barre. Greetings, everyone. My name is Jimel Calliste, and I'm the president of the Wilkes-Barre NAACP number 2306, and I'm here with another Black-owned business highlight. And I'm here with.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brock Vieney. I am owner and CEO of Brock's Fresh Breads LLC.
All right, so this is a really special episode this time because we have somebody who was born and raised in Wilkes-Barre. So I'm gonna be picking his brain and asking him about a couple of things, and we're gonna dive into it. So, born and raised in Wilkes-Barre, how was that? Did you grow up in the 80s, 90s?
I was born in '78.
Okay.
So mainly the '80s, 90s. It was always like a tight knit community.
Right.
Honestly, when I was a kid growing up, every single family that was in the neighborhood, we all knew each other.
Right.
It was basically just one big community of families as one family.
Right. In your time being out here, what's changed to today? Like, have you seen? So I talk to a lot of other people in the community, and they say that they're seeing more diversity in the community now, more businesses and things thriving like that. But to you, what have you seen that's changed since that time?
A lot has changed, obviously. Time changes things. I have seen a lot of Black-owned businesses striving to make an appearance in this area.
Right.
And one thing that I've been telling myself too, honestly, a lot of the business owners, the Black business owners, a lot of them, honestly, more than 50% of them, I think are women.
Right.
To be honest with you, I think that's good.
Right.
A lot of the women that own businesses and storefronts that I associate with myself, they're all, not all, but most of them are Black.
Right.
I try to reach out to as many of them as I can.
Right.
Right. But on that side of it, it's good to see though.
No, it is. It is absolutely great to see, honestly. And you just touched on it. There seems to be like a lot of opportunity in this area for Black businesses to thrive.
Yeah.
And to have a space for themselves. You talked about minority or women led businesses, and I think that's like really important. A lot of people don't understand that, or may not know that a lot of business owners in this area are women, and are Black women, and they're doing really, really good jobs at it. So that was really a really great point for you to bring up. So let's talk upbringing. So you talked about like it was tight knit. It was a really family-based community. So like, what high school did you go to?
I went to GAR.
Okay, GAR. And did you stay local for college?
Actually, I didn't even go to college.
Hey, that's not always an option.
No.
That's not always the option.
No,
Okay.
It's not. I mean, you don't need to go to college. You don't need a degree.
You do not.
To be successful.
That's a myth. That's a myth, and I think that I'm glad that you said that, because I think for those that are listening, I think as far as the NAACP is concerned, we're working on some things that are coming down the pipeline that talk about those other options, and the fact that college is not always, it's not always not needed.
Yeah,
to be successful.
I mean, it's not a bad thing,
Right?
People just go to trade schools and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
People go to trade schools. It's still school, just not college.
Right. Exactly. And the wages there are pretty damn good.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's not a bad decision to make, honestly. But thank you for kind of saying that, because that was a unique point of view that I think a lot of people needed to hear as well and understand. So GAR, and how was the community at GAR? Was it diverse when you were going to high school?
I mean, once again, it was like It was basically a family, like, there wasn't no,
Right.
I mean, we had, well, obviously, we had GER, Coughlin, and Myers, so,
Right.
it was just, 3 different schools, but we had our rivalries and stuff like that, you
Right.
know? But I mean, in each of the schools itself, it was just basically like a family, you know?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's positive to hear, and that's how it kind of was in Wilkes-Barre back then, absolutely. So, how did we get to Brock's Fresh Breads? How did we get there?
How do we get the Brock's Fresh Breads? Well, I find myself telling the story more and more.
Right.
So I try to find a way to make it not long. But
No, please.
yeah, no, basically, I was looking for pumpkin bread, fresh, homemade locally
Right.
last year, and I couldn't find it. So I've been cooking for 25 plus years myself, so I just pulled up a recipe. And basically what I did, I made it for myself, I gave it to some of my friends.
Right.
Now, my friends came back and said, Brock, this is the best pumpkin bread we ever had in our life.
Right.
They said, you should start selling it, and they said, we want more.
Mm.
And I said, okay, I will make more for you.
Right.
And they said, no, we want the bigger loaf, and and they said we want to pay for it.
Right.
That's what my friends told me. And I said there's no need for that.
Right.
And they went on and said it again.
Right.
Brock, you start selling it. Like, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Since that time, I laughed at the time. You know what I mean? But a couple of days went by, and my friends were asking me for it again, so I started thinking about it. I'm just like, maybe I should make a couple of different breads. Well, honestly, too, this is what happened. I work in restaurants, so I said I've been cooking.
Right.
So when I made that bread, the people that I work with were my guinea pigs. So I would go to work and I'd be like, hey Stacy, just say Stacy, a good old girl named Stacy. Hey Stacy, if I told you that I bake bread, I said, what kind of bread would you tell me you like to eat? But people were telling me like rye and wheat. I'm like, no, well, it gotta be sweet, because I don't use yeast.
Right.
Yeast. But I would go to work and I would ask people, what kind of bread would you like me to make? And I would go home and I would make it and I would take it back to work, and every single time they tasted the bread, just the expression on their face, and to this day, like when I'm working my events, stuff like that, the flea markets, people come up to my table, and it's like the second time that I see them, and like they come into my table with a smile, and I can see them like far away coming up with a smile, and I'm like, this person really coming up to me. But it's I forget what was I explaining right there too.
No, when you were basically talking about like the joy you get out of seeing people come up to you for your bread, and I mean, the fact that you were using your coworkers as guinea pigs, and
yeah.
Damn, I mean, that's so strategic. That's so smart, honestly, to be able to like use the space that you're in to try that product, and then to get the response that they did. Like you said, like as a business owner, like having that validation from somebody that tested your product is always like great. So for them to be able to like engage and be like, damn, this bread is actually good.
Yeah.
I know that probably made you like feel like top of the world. No, absolutely.
Well, it's like I said, I worked in the restaurant business for over 25 years, right?
Right.
Now, I haven't said this in over 6 months. And I used to tell people all the time, I've been in business, maybe 8 months or something like that, or whatever the time frame may have been, and I still haven't had one complaint.
Right.
You work in a restaurant, from the time that you walk in the door to the time that you leave, like there's mistakes being made here and there, like
Right. No, you're absolutely right. There's a
Like it's like I said, I'm like going to my 16th month too, and like I'm getting every day I get more joy out of it. I'm not gonna lie.
right.
More and more every single day, and like I telling Daryl, you know, about me, I made a vision board, and one of the key things on my vision board was going 120% every single day, because I listen to motivational speakers and stuff like that. You know, but one of my favorite motivational speakers, E.T., Eric Thomas. Yeah, talks about going 120% every single day.
Right.
Can't go 80 one day, can't go 90 one day, you can't go 100 one day, can't go 110 one day,
Right.
and then go 120 the next day. It ain't gonna work like that.
Right.
You know, but another thing that talking about motivational speakers, there's two motivational speakers that I take the quotes from, and I agree with both of them, but I agree with one more because to me it makes more sense, and I'm gonna tell you what they are. And it's Eric Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You gotta want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
Yeah. What time does he get up?
It's like 4 a.m.
3
a.m.
3 a.m. Okay, now his philosophy is you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single day.
Mm.
Now everybody's schedule is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you might be work from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. 6
Right.
whatever,
Something like that.
you know what I mean?
Right. That's
Like
true.
you can't
That
get up.
third shift.
You're already up. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that's the case, then you're already doing it. You're already up.
Right.
But that's his philosophy about it. He said you got to get up at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's everybody's schedule is different. But Steve Harvey, I like
Steve
what he
Harvey's
says
good.
Now Steve Harvey says, and I added this to my 120% every single day.
Right.
Like I'm trying to go 120% every single day. You know what I mean? Now Steve Harvey said, you can't sleep 8 hours a day.
Right. That's too much sleep.
You can't sleep 8 hours a day, because if you sleep 8 hours a day, that's a third of your life.
Right. Third your life gone.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I agree with Steve Harvey more. You can't, you just can't. You can, I mean, they tell you
Right.
you're supposed to have 8 hours of sleep.
And all of that.
You know,
Yeah.
but then on the same note, everybody's programmed to work for somebody else to make money.
Right. So
So-
their sleep schedule is different, and they're okay with trading that time. And you touched on a lot of great things that I think speak to the spirit of an entrepreneur. Motivational speakers and stuff like that. I think that's a real common thing that a lot of entrepreneurs have, is that they look out, they seek mentorship, and they try to find advice wherever they can. I think for you to try to have to take that leap of taking your fresh bread seriously, you needed positive energy, coming in and kind of motivating you to, like you said, go 120% every day, and also understand that you have to be working. You have to take advantage of it, and you definitely have been doing that. For the first time I ever got wind of what you were doing was when I attended the Chamber of Commerce. They had the dinner, like I told you,
Yeah.
and then they put up the NAACP Black Owned Business Expo that you guys had in the Mohegan Sun, I think it was, and I was like, whoa, as a young person that's in the NAACP, a lot of times, just being completely transparent, a lot of people in the community think that the NAACP is like old school.
Yeah.
So to kind of see the approach that you guys took, and they're like a vendors and just having a space for them and black owned and being like black and proud. Like for me, it was like, wow, I wasn't expecting to see like people in the community come together and be proud of that and put it on display.
Yeah.
So, and like not utilize like you guys did it off the muscle, off your own strength. Like there was no besides like the collaboration between the businesses. I didn't see a big like NAACP or YMCA or something like that connected to what you guys are doing. So it just shows that there's people in the community, there's business owners in the community that are for the community and that are trying to like create things. And I think it speaks to exactly what you were saying, how Wilkes-Barre used to be. Used to be a community. Yeah. You used to be family. You used to be able to count on each other. And the community that you guys built within that that expo is, in my opinion, I've seen so many stories and so many little excerpts on what you guys did. You should be proud. You know, like you opened a lot of eyes to Black-owned business in this area. Period. And I think if anybody was to take that away from me, they're crazy. You know what I mean? I think that. You guys are going to do it again, and we'll definitely talk about that. But what kind of led, so you have the fresh bread business, what kind of led you to collaborate or co-sponsor or however you did it? I'm sure you'll explain that event in the Media Sun. How did that come about?
The Black-owned business expo, I am actually a co-host to the event.
Okay.
The main host is my good friend, Janice Montez. She owns Janice's purse collection. She sells purses.
Nice.
You
gotta
know?
get Janice on.
So Janice, she, that's who I co-host for a lot, you know, and she's the one that basically put it together, you know. We had 3 co-hosts last year. I was one of them. And we had 2 other Black-owned businesses that were co-hosting with me.
Right.
But unfortunately this year, it's just me and Janice. So me and Janice are gonna be the ones coordinating this whole thing.
Right.
You know, it's 2-day event, you know, we got the experience. It was the biggest event that either of us hosted.
Right.
Hosted or co-hosted, you know. We got a lot of experience doing it, and I think it's gonna run a lot more smoothly this year, you know. Obviously it's 2 days.
Right.
You know, last year we had 73 vendors in one day.
Right.
You know, so I mean, the vendors are slowly picking up on it, you know. But we have a couple months left.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's going to be here before you know it, honestly, to say the truth, because
right.
I've been waiting for a long time. It's in 4 months. It's in 4 months.
Right.
You know, that 4 months is going to go by like that. It's just, you get so much exposure off of it.
Right.
You know, a lot of networking, you know. I mean, that's the best thing that you can do. Like, you know, like I was saying, you know, this is the inside event, stuff like that, you know. But like I've been doing the flea markets in the cold recently, you know. But like I keep on saying though, it's every time that I go, I'm gonna get 2 customers that are gonna be my customer for a long time.
Right.
So it's worth doing. And one of them cold days that I might miss going, I might miss 2 customers. You know, that's a lot of money in the long run.
Right, and those might be 2 of your biggest orders. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And again, I love what you're saying. As an entrepreneur, you have to take risks. You don't know the reward that may be on the other side. I think obviously that would be a high traffic event, but you have to be willing to just put your neck out and go to those flea markets and do those craft fairs and different things like that. So you said you had over 70 vendors last year, and it ran pretty smooth one day. Excuse me, sorry.
Got you.
Thank you. It ran pretty smooth. It was one day. Now this year is August. What's the date?
August 27th and August 28th. That's a Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna run from 12 to 7 both days.
12 to 7.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The second annual Black-owned Business Expo.
Correct.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
It's in the Mohegan Sun. So, like I said, so absolutely. So that, like I said, is where I caught wind of what you guys were doing, and I was completely blown away. I mean, to be quite frank, that it looked really well organized.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And you look like you guys have been doing it for a while, and you said it was one of your bigger events. So for you to have the control that you guys were able to have on it, and then to build on top of that and continue to use that momentum, and you rolled into that chamber, winning the awards, and then the different
Yeah, most definitely.
those different magazines, like you said, the articles, excuse me, exposure. Exposure was one of the bigger things that I think kind of came out of that, and now this year you guys are looking to build on top of that. So for yourself, what are you looking to? What are you hoping to see this year for your business in that expo?
What am I looking to see for my business that day?
Yeah, like, so will there be more flavors than last year?
Well, to tell you the truth, I always make it a point to have as many kinds of bread as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I've been in business for 16 months now, so honestly, I don't even know how many events I did. I've done so many. I kind of got the top sellers down,
Okay.
you know, so I don't think that I need to display
All the breads.
all the breads. I have a menu that has
Right.
all the breads listed on
You
there.
can order from it, but
But you know, if I'm gonna be at a place doing this as long as I've been doing it, going forward, I'm taking the breads that I know that sell the most. The breads that I run out of, even if I have a lot of, just say, example, I ran out of banana bread and I ran out of banana nut bread. So basically every time that I have it, I run out of it. So, and I just realized that.
right. And see,
And then people are asking for it.
right.
So, but basically anything with banana in it, like,
Yeah,
because
I'm all for it.
there's over 70, I can make over 75 different breads with banana in it. Different variations.
Damn.
Like, you know, that's just one,
Right.
one
Fruit.
kind.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Then you could do all the same thing with the cherry, and you do all the same thing with the blueberry. You know what I mean? So that's over 300 kinds right there.
Right. Right. Oh man. Whew. We definitely got to cut. Oh man, I see it.
But no, this is what I am doing though. Now, I basically only take my mini loaf of bread. I normally only take my mini loaves of bread, but I do have 3 different sized breads, and
Right.
people don't get to see them all the time, and they don't know,
Right.
and I don't think they realize how big it is.
Right.
I mean, at my job now, they're still my guinea pigs. I take bread to work and they eat it, and then they're like, "Oh, you got some of that on there?" I'm like, "Nah." I said, "I'll bring it tomorrow, though." But and then yesterday I took my jumbo loaf of bread, and they were like, "Yo, what is that?" I'm like, "That's my jumbo." They were like, "Oh my God, we were about to say it's like 5 times bigger than your other loaf." But talking about having all different kinds of breads, I'm gonna have all 3 different size breads so that everybody can see it this time.
Right.
Because now, I mean, I can take a picture of it, like, unless you see it
Right.
physically,
Right.
you know what I mean?
But to see it in physical
It's-
form
yeah,
is like,
yeah.
whoa, this is a huge bread. And I've never seen the bread, but I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I've seen your displays, beautiful. Like I said, the attention to details I see it, you know what I mean? And you're speaking to a lot of things that I think entrepreneurs, and this is so perfect because obviously this is a black-owned business highlight. You know what works. You've identified your top products, and now you can move forward. And I think the things you've been doing are like right on point with how you scale, how you move forward, and how you grow. I think like the platform that you're on and that you're using is going to be tremendous. I can't wait to try some of those breads. So I grew up in Costa Rica. My mom is from there, and visiting my grandma, I would go to bread makers. So I'd go get the fresh bread on Sunday, but they did probably use yeast. So I'm asking that to ask, like, so what's your process like? I remember I would see like a fire oven, and then we would have to wait. And I remember the smell. Oh, so good. Nice warm bread with some butter and some tea at night. Go to bed.
Yeah.
But so for you, like, what is that process like? Are you using like a fire oven or like what is? Without giving away everything, don't give it away. Well, even if you did, we couldn't replicate it.
Yeah.
But
no, you're right about that. I mean, even if you have ingredients, you can't just throw it in the bowl.
Right, exactly,
You know?
exactly, absolutely.
But no, basically I don't use yeast, so
You don't use yeast.
No, I have yeast because I was thinking about using it, but I didn't use it.
Right.
To run my business, I still work a full-time job.
Right.
Well, within the last 3 weeks, I stopped working full-time to work on my business more.
Right.
But basically, no yeast. So to me, no yeast means flour, baking soda, and baking powder.
Right.
That's what I get out of it.
Right.
Because I guess if I use the yeast, then I wouldn't have to use the baking powder and the baking soda.
Right. Do you
I'm
think?
assuming. I don't honestly tell you the truth, I don't even know.
Right. Do you think that gives it a different flavor?
No, it doesn't really give a different flavor. The difference is savory breads.
Right.
You're talking rustic savory breads that use yeast that need time to yield. That's your wheat bread, your white bread, your Irish soda bread,
Right.
your ciabatta bread, all those breads. Because it takes time to do that.
Right.
You have to knead it out, then you have to let it sit for an hour.
Right.
Then you have to knead it again. You gotta let it sit, you gotta let it rise. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't have time to do all that. You know what I mean?
I can understand that.
But there's a process to which ingredients you gotta put in together at the same time, and which ones, So I mean, it's basically wet and dry.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but there's no hour rise time
Right, and all that extra.
involved at all.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So for you said you've been cooking 25 years and recently got into the baking. So 16 months in the business and you're already, and from my opinion, I'm not a business expert or anything like that, so please don't nobody think that I'm a business expert, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you're right on track, man. The product. Like you're talking about breads I've never even heard of, Irish soda bread, and it's like, you need, like, again, I'm not being a stickler here, but as business owners, and I think what I want people to get from out of this, like, you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And you're very knowledgeable of everything that's going into your product. And I think that's what's made it. I haven't heard a bad thing about your bread. I'm being honest. I haven't heard one bad thing about your bread. And I think that speaks volumes. And I can see it, the knowledge of the product is just oozing out of you, and you know what you're doing. You know what sells, you know what your customers want, you know how to like that give and take. And then I'm just interested in how you're going to like move this thing forward. Like, so what are your plans? Like let's say 5 years from now.
Well, I probably have like 5 different plans. be honest with you,
You gotta have options.
Yeah, but it's not one out of the 5 plans is gonna happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, maybe next 2 years.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the main one.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the main one that I want.
Right. Take your time.
Well, here, well, you know what? This one just came. I've been thinking about this too. Like, you know, it's family-owned business. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who's the black sheep of the family? Who's gonna break the
Right.
generational curse?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Come on.
like, you know, I mean, both my brothers, one of them just retired.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had worked for state for 30 years. My other brothers work for the state. He can retire whenever he wants, you know. I never went to college. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I want to get my family involved. You know, I have my sister that helps me out every once in a while. Unfortunately, she has a teenager that's not acting so good as a teenager. You know,
So she gotta focus on that.
doing the normal teenage things that we all did. You
Right.
know, that need more focus.
Right. Need more attention. Yeah, understandable.
You know, I would like to get my family involved more, but I mean that could be in many different forms.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
like my sister works my table for me every once in a while. You know, the first time she did it, I loved it because it was the first time that anybody ever worked my table.
Right.
Yeah, I do my events by myself, so I go set up by myself. You know, if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to leave my table. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, you know, then I'm losing sales. You know what I mean? You know, but obviously the vendor next to me will wash my table. And,
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Do that, but I want to get my family more involved. That's one of the goals.
I think that's a great goal, though. I think
Yeah.
even the chamber had if I'm not mistaken, the Chamber of Commerce actually has like a family-owned business award, like the family-owned business that's like doing the best. And I remember seeing that at the dinner and thinking, damn, there's families that have been doing business in this area for how long? I wonder where the black families are.
Well, you know what? It's funny you just said that because it was just at the tip of my tongue too. I was like, honestly, I see all the white families doing it. You know, I was just at Tarnowski's last week. There's 2 businesses in there. You know, they're great people.
Right.
I don't have nothing bad to say about them. They are great people. I love them. They've all loved my product.
Right.
You know, you have Tarnowski's. You know, they're the people that I met. You know, I'm not from Nanticoke, but I lived in Nanticoke and I met a lot of people. And one of the people was the owners of Tarnowski's, and I was in Nanticoke one day, and I said, "Hey, you know, I don't know if you know who I am. You know, here's my car and Brock, I bake bread." Gave him a whole spiel, you know. And he's like, "Oh yeah." He said, "I'll come by and you know see if we can put your bread in the store." I contacted them and I asked them if I could come there and sell the bread. You know, well, actually, I went there. I took a bread platter. You know, I said, "I'm here to talk."
Man.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And he was like, "Oh yeah, they already had it all planned out." Like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put you out front." So I go there, and I didn't even know that there was another business in there. You know, like I said, they're all great people and stuff like that. But like, you don't see too many black families doing it.
Right. I mean, that's just the honest truth. Brother. You gotta keep it real.
I'm sitting there trying to think.
And you're
Honestly, to tell you the truth. I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, they got their teenagers in there
Right.
working like, and you know, they're working just like an adult. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. I think that's.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I would love to have my niece, because my niece likes to bake too. I'd love to have her there, you know?
Right, picking it up. And I mean, you're hitting it right on the nose, man. I think that family can be a core value in business. And I think that it can help you scale, it can help you grow, like all the things that we're saying.
Yeah, but the whole thing about it is though too, like everybody's got to be like, how far is he gonna go?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not really. People are all saying it's not gonna be anything, but
that's a lot.
the only thing that I'm saying is that like I personally am doing this so I don't have to work for them. So I don't have to work for nobody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, if I ever told you my whole story, you know, you're talking probably 8 months ago, I was working 2 jobs, 70 hours a week, and, you know, I started getting a bunch of orders for bread, you know, and when I was at work and like I had people actually paying for the bread before I made it. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm at this much. I'm like, okay, well, I'm working all day this day. I'm working all day this day. I'm working all day. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to make no bread. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I quit both my jobs just because I thought that the orders were gonna keep on coming in, and you know, but it didn't work out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I went back to work and I said, I'm gonna set myself up so I quit my job again, but I'm not gonna quit. If I have to, I'll just work 1 day a week. You know what I mean? So basically, now it's back to my busy season, so that's what I did. I told my job, I want to work 2 days a week, you know?
I think, again, you're speaking to my soul right now, because I think that a lot of times the workforce you can set yourself up to not be used and not be drained, but you have to be intentional, like you said. You have to let people know, be transparent, let people know this is not gonna work for me like this,
Yeah.
but I can't help you in this way.
Yeah.
And if they want to accept that, then that's up to them, and then it frees you up to be able to do that. Exactly like you said. So many gems in this conversation, because you're speaking of peaks and valleys, you know, the highs and lows of business, and you took a jump, you took a risk, and it didn't essentially work out the way you thought, and then you went right back to, you know, what you had to do, and you didn't skip a beat, and you're still moving forward. I think that's so important.
I don't mean to cut you off,
No, you
but
didn't.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like, this is taking risks and stuff like that. Look, the job that I just had, yeah, I'm 43 years old, you know what I mean? The job that I just had, I was making the most money hourly ever in my life, you know? And it was cooking high-end food and stuff like that. But this is how I know I'm going to be successful too, because like, it's, I would not want to ever give that dollar amount that I was getting per hour up for anything. And I went there, I took a week off of work, and then first off they were mad about that, but I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be mad because you're mad, because I'm gonna be happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyways though, I took a week off of work, I went back to work. First day I walked in, you know, I felt a different,
The vibe.
the vibe, yeah, the vibe in the air, like, everybody wasn't saying nothing, and then I was like, yo, what's going on, like, you know? And then the chef was like, oh, he's like, can I talk to you real quick? I'm like, yeah, sure, what's going on, da. So basically I said I can't work Friday and Saturday. They said, well, you know, with your availability, the same working, you know, it's about to be our busy season, you know, and they told me they're gonna transfer me to a different place. But the point of my story was like, I didn't even care about losing this job, because like, you know,
I'm confident.
cause I know that I'm gonna make my business run, you know? I don't know, I think it was, like, I felt like, you know, talking about people being, accustomed to working for somebody else,
Right.
you know, like, I felt like I had to keep this job.
Right.
Like, I felt like I'm making the most money I ever made, like, I gotta keep this job, like, you know, I got bills, you know what I'm saying, but that wasn't even the case though, like, I see where my business is going, so like, you know, I get paid like, the job that I have now, I make dollars less than what I was making.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't, honestly, on a 40-hour work week, yeah, just survive off of it.
Right. You gotta do what you gotta do. Absolutely. So, I mean, this has been a very information-filled conversation, and I think we'll definitely be doing a lot more together. definitely can't wait to talk to you on how we can collaborate moving forward. But let our audience know, our viewers know where they can find you. Do you have any social media accounts?
Yeah, right now I have my Facebook page. That's Brock's Fresh Bread on Facebook. Brock's Fresh Bread. That's without an S, it's not plural.
Okay.
I think that's that. That's all I have right now. Just that. And then my email, if you want to email me, would be BF, the letters BF and the word breads, bfbreads@yahoo.com. Yeah, because I'm always looking for local coffee shops to buy wholesale. You know what I mean? So
Right.
if they want to, some people rather email and stuff like that.
Right,
So
that's true. So BF Breads, plural, @yahoo.com.
Correct.
And Brock's Fresh Bread on Facebook.
Correct. Yes.
Absolutely. So again, it was a pleasure talking to you, and we'll definitely be